Kaisbhai, I think you can start the recording now.
Okay, done.
Thank you, Kaisbhai. All right. Hi, everyone. Greetings and good evening. Hope you are all enjoying your weekend and you have already have a fantastic dinner, I believe. If you are not, you will get soon. So in this session, we are going to start our career session 2020 organized by CUETians in Australia. So in this session, we will cover different presentation from our different industry experts. First of all, I will just quickly go through our scheduled content. First, we will start with the acknowledgement of traditional owner of this country. Then we will introduce our panel. Then we'll introduce, we'll get a quick introduction from our chair. Then we'll start our main presentation. In the end of the session, we will create a segment for the open discussion and networking. So first of all, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owner of this country or of our Australia. So their continuous connection to the land, water, and culture. We play our respect to their elders past, present, and emerging. So in this session, we will cover the CV and cover letter writing, public sector job, especially in the telecom sector as well as the railway sector. So in our deep presentation, we will introduce our presenter in brief. So I am not going very deep in this part. So here we have a guest speaker as well, Mr. Mahabub. We are very Mr. Engineer Rahul, SKD Rahul. He is suddenly sick and he will not be able to present his presentation, but he has prepared the presentation for us, and Mr. Iman will present it on behalf of him. So I am just letting you know some housekeeping rules for our session. So just I would like to request all you to keep your mic mute all the time and unmute when you speak. And you can raise your hand to or you type a question in the chat box anything. And our overall event is recorded, and we'll try to live stream in the YouTube as well as Facebook. And our relevant documentation will be uploaded in our website www.chuetiansinaustralia.org later on. Here I would like to quickly introduce our host panel. My name is MD Abul Hussain, nickname is Shabu. I am General Secretary for the CUETians in Australia. I am playing a technical facility manager role in Optus on behalf of BGIS. I'm based in Sydney in Australia. So I hope you will all actually enjoy the career session. It will not help only who are in the Australia or in the Australian job market or who are just seeking the job, but also who are attending from the overseas all over the globe. So I quickly invite my another two hosts, Dr. ASM Kayes. Please quickly introduce yourself on, to our audience. Dr. ASM Kayes, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kayes. So, I'm higher study secretary with CUETian in Australia, and I'm working at La Trobe University as a lecturer in cybersecurity. That's it. Yep. Bye.
Thank you, Kayes. Not only that, I would like to add some notes for the Kayes. The technical platform what we are using right now, it is completely prepared by the Dr. ASM Kayes. So thanks again for your nice cooperation and support for our organization. Now I would like to invite Mr. Engineer Ahmed Fahd Taib Sharif. He is the organizing secretary for CUETian in Australia. I would like to invite him to give a quick intro of him.
Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ahmed Fatih. I'm working as a technical sales engineer at Power Hydraulics in the transport hydraulics sector. I'm also acting as the organizing secretary for CUETians in Australia at this moment. And I hope you'll enjoy this session. Thanks.
Thanks, Taib. Another name is Sharif. We actually want to actually recognize him in especially because all the design content and whatever you are seeing in the screen actually mostly designed by the Sharif. So I would like to give a big clap for him. And we don't want to take too much time in the introduction. Now we are going to kick up, before kicking up our presentation session, I would like to invite Dr. Niaz Sheikh, Associate Professor, Deputy Head of School of Civil, Mining and Engineering, Environmental Engineering, University of Wollongong. I would like to request him to give a quick intro and inaugurate our session. Please welcome Dr. Niaz Sheikh, President, CUETians in Australia.
Thank you, Shabu. Uh, like you, I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodian of the land on which we meet today, and I pay my respect to their elders, past and present. Friends, as you know, CUETians in Australia is a platform for graduates of CUET for social, cultural, and professional activities. Our graduates are working in a variety of engineering professions in Australia, including civil constructions, information technology, and higher education. Our graduates have been contributing significantly to the advancement of Australia and to promoting the friendship between Australia and Bangladesh. The present executive committee has started its journey mid this year. We are committed to serving and promoting CUET graduates in Australia to enhance their professional activities and social livings. As part of our commitments, this event is the first of a series of events that we contemplate to organize. Today's presenters are highly acclaimed and experienced in their respective fields. We have a lot to learn from them, and I am eagerly looking forward to have their insight into CV writing and prospects and opportunities for public sector jobs in Australia. I want to begin the program by thanking all participants and listeners to this program, and I declare the start of the program now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Niaz Sheikh. So we are going to kick off now in our main presentation. Before starting, I would like to let you know, we are not expert in this type of session. There's some technical difficulties. I sincerely apologize before starting. So, but we have a lot of subject matter experts that we are, which are going to present a different presentation in different sector. As well as all our organization executive member as well as volunteers, they are just volunteering their time for our organization, and they are actually sacrificing their personal and professional time for our organization. So don't take it otherwise if we make any mistakes. So at stage we are going to kick off our main presentation. So I think whoever are coming in the Australian job market or whoever actually going through the Australian job market, we all are facing very common problem that we are applying a lot of application, we are submitting a lot of CV and cover letter, but we are getting negative response very promptly. And I think 100 of CV everyone submitting, but we are getting negative response, and we are getting upset and we are getting frustrated. I would like to say, don't be frustrated, don't be upset. There are secrets, there are some insight which actually reach you to the employer, reach you to the hiring manager. This is the secrets going to unveiled by engineer Sajjad Chaudhary Jitu. Please welcome to present his presentation in regarding the CV and cover letter writing. Please welcome engineer Sajjad Chaudhary Jitu. I would like to request you to screen your share and carry forward with your presentation. Please welcome engineer Sajjad Chaudhary Jitu.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just sharing my screen. Hopefully you will be able to see this one. So is everything okay when I'm sharing the screen? Hopefully you can see this one.
Yes, we can, Jitu.
Okay, so let me introduce myself. I'm engineer Sajjad Chaudhary Jitu, currently working with Ulvers Limited as a senior manager. And I also want to introduce myself as one of the self-business starter in Australia. Recently, we have just formed a new business, which is Aussies Design Australia Private Limited. So we will give more details later if we need to share more information on behalf of my organization. So I need to acknowledge the traditional owners of the Australia. So we acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognize their continuing connection to land, waters, and culture. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So in today's meeting, I've got few agenda to cover on. So I will cover mainly the resume, cover letter, interview question answer, and the dress code. Just to explain, like we are not expert on this resume, cover letter, or we are not a HR person, but this is based on our research and the way we present ourselves in the interview and the cover letter, resume, all this information we gather, and then we are trying to present it for a rest of the CUETians who wants to come in Australia or who are already staying in Australia for better career progression. In my agenda, I've got a few things to cover, like there is few tips, hints, and some sample resume. There will be some sample interview questions, some generic answer for them, and how to end an interview with some importance of the networking. I actually kept few useful video links for CV and cover letter. So I'm not going through in details with this link. So whenever you get a chance, please go through these few links, and they have got valuable information regarding cover letter, CV, and how to attend an interview and all this information. So first of all, I just want to start with that 20 basic rules that will help you to success when you apply for a job, starting for a cover letter, and then it will cover your resume as well. So with cover letter, like you always need to maintain that cover letter in one page, and always try to make sure that there is no spelling and grammatical error. Make sure that you always check your tenses, like whenever you say anything about your past, make sure they are in past tense, and if you are telling something about your present, then it's to be in your present tense. Avoid any kind of first person pronouns, and you always send your resume in the format they ask in your job application. So it could be in PDF or in docs, unless if it's stated otherwise. Always label your resume correctly. Make sure that the format is in a logical structure. It's always easy to read, and keep it always consistent with contextual included there. Do not quantify as much as possible. The other information what we always need to put is the name drop and the title drop. Like this is a very important point I just wanted to highlight. If you work with any of your senior leadership or senior management team in your current role, try to mention their name in that cover letter, so that might highlight you for your next job, because those people, those senior people might be renowned to your to everywhere in the industry. So that might help you to get your next job in future. Do not include reference, because nowadays we don't want to waste our cover letter or any other spaces with putting the reference there, unless if it is asked by the job description, like you need to put your reference. Use your own judgment when it comes to a creativity. So just mention, like, what you have done. Do not overstate that you have in your cover letter that will cover a lot of information. So just be precise and make it simple for them. Always think about the person who is reading your resume. So make sure that the other person who is reading, he needs to understand, and make sure that he's going through in details, because they need to go through a lot of cover letters, CV from different applicant. So highlight your one so that it must be picked up when they are going through your resume and cover letter. Think about what makes you different. So has something definitely will make yourself different from other applicants. So try to mention that in your cover letter. And the job you are applying, that needs to be specific to that job. Try to make your cover letter as a storytelling document, and always try to be authentic. So be yourself. Few words do not include in your resume. So I'm not going through in details what you need to avoid. So these are some words that you can avoid from your resume and cover letter. There is few tips I want to cover as well for your cover letter introduction. So always be direct. Always show excitement when you present something in your cover letter. anything that you have accomplished, try to mention them and highlight them in your cover letter. Always personalize based on your different job. So try to make it different for every job you are applying for. And always, as I said, always be yourself. Try to be authentic. So do not over exaggerate anything or do not put anything that you never done. The next slide, which I'm going to cover, is how to write a cover letter, and there like it's kind of some hints and tips. So these are very generic cover letter, and it could be different for different job. So my target is to cover the generic information that might help everyone, to write a good cover letter. So feel free to go through this information and try to make sure that you are taking these hints and tips to write your cover letter. In the next slide as well, there is some information I prepared, like how to write a good resume. So always choose a resume template. Write your professional summary in the template. Match your skills to the ones in the job advertised. Include your contact information and focus on your achievements. So please make sure that you write all your achievements. It could be your academic achievements, it could be your project related achievements, or it could be your anything that you in your current job you have done recently. So try to mention them as your achievements. Use resume keywords and action verbs. So I will go in detail with some of your action verbs that we need to highlight in the resume. They have got few tips as well, which we need to include as a work experience section in our resume. So as I mentioned, your current and past responsibilities and accomplishment you need to mention in your cover letter and resume. At the same time, what skills you want to highlight. So there is few different skill set we can highlight in our resume, which is some soft skill as well as some hard skill. So what are the hard skill that you can mention in your resume? I highlighted some of them. If you worked in any of the project management skill, or if you worked any workflow development, or you have got any knowledge of manufacturing process or any kind of laws, you can mention them as your hard skill. And some action verb also you can highlight in your resume, which if you have done them in past. As an example, like it could be you have organized something, or you have programmed something, or you have introduced or launched something in your past, or even in your present role. Try to mention them in that resume. Some soft skills, which is like your creativity, is your teamwork and collaboration, your leadership skill, or your time management skill, you can mention them. And the other things that I mentioned previously, like any professional or achievements that you can highlight in your resume, that will be good. Out of that is any scholarship or industry award you have got, any kind of membership that you currently has, any certification or professional designations, any courses or conferences you have attended, or any language school. These are some additional information as your achievement you can add in your resume. So some example of sample resume I've mentioned here, which I think is just a very generic, not specific to any industry. So try to utilize this as a template, and hopefully this will help you, to apply for your next job. Now some interview tips. So there are few interview question. There is some format we need to follow when we attend into the interview. So some are traditional interview format and some are behavioral based format. And in some interview, you might have both of them. So what kind of behavior question you can get? So I'm not going through in detail with the normal traditional interview format. So I'm just more focusing on the behavioral one. So which you can see, there is some question you might get, like describe an example of a time when you had a completing deadlines and how you resolved the situation. Have you ever had a conflict with a coworker? Or describe a situation where you made a mistake and how you went about correcting it. So all these are behavioral type of question, and you need to basically focus on some answers on that. So I've given some generic answer that you can provide based on some 11 common interview question. So this is like for you to go through in details, and if you have any question, we will definitely answer you on any of our panel. If they have any answer, they will definitely answer your question. So I will focus on some key question that we can answer. So when there is a question, when someone asks, what are your weakness? So how you normally answer that? So there is some good answer we got from the website and from our research. So one of the areas that I'm really trying to improve upon is public speaking. So I'm just telling myself this is my weakness and how I will answer that weakness. It is something that I never did much of during university and the first couple of years of my career as an accountant. So it could be a different profession maybe. However, as I've advanced into more senior roles, I've realized how important it is to speak to larger audience, both inside and outside of my company. So to help make me feel more comfortable in this situation, I took a seminar in presentation skills. So this is how you normally answer your question. If there is some kind of question that you don't know the answer. So these are some examples. So please go through this answer, which might help you, for your next interview. There is some tips for do's and don'ts. So this is, as I said, please go through in details. We always follow the STAR technique. So the STAR technique is mainly situation, task, action, and result-based behavioral question. So please analyze the STAR technique and it will help you to answer the question in the interview. Some don't. So I'm just highlighting one of them. So don't focus on only on yourself. Instead, connect your skills and experience to the company's projects and workplace culture. So it's always good to know when you are applying for a job about that organization, what they are doing, what is their current workplace culture, and what kind of project they are dealing with. So please do some research and it will help you to answer the question more easily when you're in an interview. This is a very common question everyone asks in an interview, like, why should we choose you? So there could be different answer and it could be different in different jobs, but some common thing that we can highlight when anyone asks this question. So having different experience. So you might have some different experience than the other candidate. Please try to highlight that. Having a different background, like you might come from a different background, so try to explain that background as well. So that might be an answer that the interviewer are looking for. And having different skills and personality, so try to show your skills and personality and try to explain that. So these are few things if you can highlight in that question, so the interviewer hopefully will be pleased and then you will be chosen for that role. So the last thing I think, which how to end an interview. So sometimes we don't know like how to close that interview. So there are few questions as an interviewer we can ask. We can ask to the interviewer, like, have I answered all your question, or is there something you'd like me to clarify? So this is something like, to finish that interview. So what is the next step in the process? Or you can ask like, can you tell me if I would get the chance to be involved with this project or not? So there are some other good questions. So try to go through this question. And this is something like, a tips to end this conversation, because sometimes we don't know like how we will close our interview and whether is it something like, ended suddenly, or, if there is nothing like coming from the interviewer. So these are the questions we can ask to complete our, interview. Last but not the least, like what to wear in the interview. So this is sometimes, not maybe no one maybe focus on this, but I think as an interviewer, when you're going to an interview, you need to keep focus on this. So dress better than the guy next to you. So always try to be fit and try to present yourself better than the other person. So always dress for success, but never go overboard. Dress to be to the part. That means always wear something neutral color. Do not put something like very funky or very like modern. So try to be neutral, try to be like stay with the flow, stay up to date. Remember the occasion that you are going for an interview. So try to remember that occasion, like it's not a party or you're going somewhere, and it's always try to be stay comfortable. So try to wear the clothes that will give you more comfort, especially with your shoes, your dress, and always like try to remove the tags from your dress. The last thing is your network networking. So all this interview, cover letter, resume, and everything, like, everything will be successful if you have a good networking connection as well. So you know that why networking is important, and I've highlighted few points, like, that with networking you might get promoted quickly, because sometimes, networking brings a job, so you can easily pass the interview and you don't need to go through all these hassles as well. It opens the door for you new opportunities, so it makes you visible to others. It boosts your self-esteem and the confidence. So always try to do the networking with your fellow engineers, fellow colleagues, and fellow teammates. How you can do that as well, there are few options, like, there is currently I can highlight, like, CUETians in Australia. This is a platform for all the CUETians came from Bangladesh. And this is we have got our own Facebook page, we've got our own website, our central database. We are also keeping contact with IB Australia. At the same time, we are also keep connected with Engineers Australia and some, social event organized by the CUETians. And not but the least is the LinkedIn profile. So I didn't highlight much with the LinkedIn profile, because I know that the other people who will present in this meeting, they will also highlight this in their presentation. So at this point, these are, as I said, this is not targeted to any specific sector. This is very generic for everyone. And if there is any question and there is any query, I'm happy to answer that. And the panel will also help to clarify that question. So thank you everyone for your time today. So I will leave this for everyone if there is any question from anyone.
Thank you, Engineer Jetu. I think our job seekers have already revealed a lot of secrets regarding the CV writing and cover letter writing. I think they are feeling more confident now after getting the nice presentation from Sajjad Jetu. So we would like to take question from anyone from our audience. Even you can type your question in the chat group. So I would like to keep an eye, Dr. Kayas as well as Fahad Sharif, to if there is any question in the chat group, just raise before to our presenter. So if anyone want to ask any question, please come forward and raise your hand.
Yeah, thank you, Shabu. So first, I would like to give a big thanks to Engineer Sajjad Jetu Chaudhary Bhai for giving us so many tips related to cover letter and resume writing, such as say 20 basic rules to follow to become successful in our job hunting. What are the do and don't rules? Yeah, tips for writing first paragraph in our cover letter, and many tips to write thoroughly cover letter, and all other say interview related tips. Thank you again, Jetu Bhai. Any question from audience?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdullah here from Zero to Electrical. Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Are we thinking of any sort of resume reviewing for our CUETians, especially someone who comes new in Australia? And I know there are lots of tips here we are being given, but sometimes it becomes hard for them to comprehend all these and put into the paper. So can we expect any resume review option from our seniors and experts in future?
Thank you, Abdullah. I think I can hand over this question to Jetu Bhai.
Thank you for asking this question. It's a great question. So first of all, like as I said, like I'm not an expert in HR or anything, but what I can recommend is, like, if the person when they're applying for a job, anyone from our CUETians in that specific sector, if it's from mechanical, civil, or electrical, or even CSE, then we can ask people to help and go through that CV, because the presentation wise, I know there's a lot to cover, but definitely, if we need to help someone from a specific sector, we will definitely jump in and review the resume. So it's feel free to send the resume to us, and we can definitely send it to the relevant people. And there is a lot of people currently in this meeting today. that can also help you out, So I can suggest one thing to everyone, like, there is if you just update your department in this as a unique name, so people will know who to reach. So I normally prefer, like, like myself, I put the civil engineer. So if you can update your name here, so that it will be easier, to know that, if there is any things I need to go in future, I can jump in and ask this person. He's also a civil engineer. He's also a mechanical engineer. Is that helpful, Abdullah?
Yeah, that's all right. Thank you. Thank you, Jitubhai. Thank you so much.
That's all good. Thank you.
No.
Yeah, thanks, Jitubhai. I see there are some in the chat box from Tahsin. That's only thanks to Jitubhai. And Shaheen, that's also mentioned that's quite impressive presentation. And another from Masood, it was impressive presentation. Unfortunately, I missed it. Can I request to have a copy of this presentation? I think.
Yes, so this one will be, I think, as Shabu already mentioned, this one will be in our website, as well as it will be in our Facebook page live and YouTube. So yes, you will have that copy.
Yeah, thank you. Any more question? If not, then I can again go back to Shabu.
All right, thanks. Thanks for the nice presentation, Engineer Sajjad Jitu. Thanks for your cooperation, Dr. Kaes, as well as all the participants who has asked a lot of questions and appreciated our presentation. Thank you all. So before going to our next section, at this stage, I would like to invite Mr. David Trott, because I know he is quite busy, but he managed some time for us. And before he leaves, if David, you would like to say a few words for us before you leave.
Thank you, Shabu. Good evening, everyone. My name is David Trott. I'm the Strategic Education Partnerships Manager at Engineering Education Australia. We are the education subsidiary of Engineers Australia. And for those who were at the Chatswood event in Sydney a couple of years ago, I was able to attend that event that you put on at that time. And it's great to see so many of you here this evening, and great to hear about your focus on career success. So being the education subsidiary of Engineers Australia, we're very focused on career development, and we have a real interest, particularly in the 0 to 10 years of engineering segment, because this is where we can assist Engineers Australia accredits the Australian universities. So we come in after that level, at the graduate level, and right through to chartered and right through into leading people and leading teams, leading projects, and also leading in your engineering discipline. So we run a number of projects, products and services, including the Engineers Australia graduate program, and very much focused on getting engineers in Australia up to the chartered level with Engineers Australia. So great to meet you all. Thank you all. I hope you find the session really interesting and insightful tonight. That one, there was some terrific tips on really what to do around interviewing and getting set up for your resume. So I wish you all very well on your career journey and success. And back to you, Shabu. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Thank you for your time. We would like to actually thanks a lot to our Engineers Australia, because Engineers Australia is our regular partner. They are our sponsor, and they have been with us for the long time. So thanks again, David, for your time in this evening, in this weekend. Now we are going to our next segment for our presentation. Now I would like to introduce one chartered engineer who is actually chartered by the Engineers Australia as well. He's the one of our youngest chartered engineer in our CUETians in Australia. I would like to invite Mr. Engineer to start his presentation in Government Railway Authority. Please welcome Engineer Saifi Hassan.
Hello, everyone. Just bear with me. I'll share my slides. All right. So, okay. Can everyone see my slide or not yet?
Yes, we can
Saifi,
see.
it's clear. It's clear. Just before starting, I would like to request everyone, if you don't speak, just keep your speaker mute. So it will actually help us to unavoidable background noise. Please carry on, Mr. Saifi.
Yeah, all right. So if you can see my screen, I'll start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CUETians in Australia Career Session 2020 Part 1. So I'd like to start the presentation with a big thanks to the organizer to organize this session and giving me the opportunity to present tonight. It's a very good initiative, and hopefully it will help the attendees to secure their desired job. So a little bit about me. My name is Saifi Hassan. I'm a chartered systems engineer and registered NER with Engineers Australia. I'm currently working as a systems and safety assurance subject matter expert with Network Rail Consulting. So my experience are very much focused on rail. So I have started my career with small Transport for New South Wales rail projects like small station upgrades, power supply upgrades. Then I moved to Sydney Metro and I was with Sydney Metro Northwest, which is up and running at this moment. So I've managed a significant part of Sydney Metro Northwest assurance delivery. I also worked in Sydney Metro Central Station main project and finalized the due diligence of final design assurance. So currently I've moved from Sydney Metro and currently I'm working with Transport for New South Wales Digital Systems Project, which is the first implementation of ETCS level 2 signaling system in Australia. So again, it's never enough, but I would like to acknowledge the traditional owner of Australia. So we acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognize their continuing connection to land, waters, and culture. We pay our respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So in my presentation, I've got the agenda here. So Jitu Bhai presented a very generic approach to CV writing and resume, but my presentation is more focused on railway. So tonight at first I'll go through the basics of railway. So if someone is looking for a job in railway from a different industry, they can identify what relevant experience they can transfer. Secondly, I'll discuss about importance of diversify and adapt in terms of skills to secure a role in railway industry and why it is 100% possible. Thirdly, I'll provide a list of some essential concepts used in railway industry. So anyone interested can go and search in details. And finally, I'll give an overview of current rail projects in New South Wales and which organizations to go to for jobs, both in public and private sector. So my presentation is a supporting presentation, and it will flow into the next presentation by Riyaj Bhai, who will also share details about railway projects and how to get job in railway. So yeah, please feel free to write down any question. I would be happy to answer. So let's start with some basics of railway. So everyone knows what is railway, kids love it. So, but when you are applying for a job, you need to know what disciplines are involved from engineering perspective. So this will help identify where previous experience can be transferred. So first of all, we have got the rolling stock, so which is the actual train. So heavy implication of mechanical and electrical design. However, most of them are done overseas. So Australia imports train in a container. But although it's designed and manufactured in overseas, but we can get involved in terms of defining the needs, like what type of train we need. So how many cars will be there, and what are those specific detail requirements. And also we need engineers to maintain the rolling stock as well. So moving on, we all know those rolling stocks run on top of a track. So this is a very simple discipline, but it's a civil engineering specific discipline, mostly focused on track stability and drainage. So it requires maintenance as well. So we need maintenance engineer for tracks. Then we have the railway stations. So it's a very similar to a commercial building design and construction. So railway stations project are actually very multidisciplinary. So application of civil engineering, mechanical, electrical, such and such. So all the structural engineers, architecture, hydraulics engineer, building service, HVAC, ventilation, they get involved in this station project. At this moment, there are so many stations upgrade and also new stations project is going on in New South Wales. Like they are huge, they need a lot of resource, and currently going to like resource lackings. So for example, Sydney Metro Central Station upgrade is a $1 billion project. So we can see like how big is the project. So then we have the tunneling. So this is very specific discipline to civil engineering, but we have tunnel ventilation, tunnel drainage as well. So where in ventilation specifically, mechanical engineers can get involved. Then we have the signaling system. So using this system, train runs on tracks safely and don't really crash into each other. So this is also a product which are developed, designed, and manufactured in overseas, but we buy them, we install it, and test and commission it in Australia in our environment. So signaling systems is a specific application of electrical engineering, software engineering, fixed telecommunication network, and also heavily involved with cybersecurity. So then we have the control center. So it's a heavy implication of IT and softwares. So, and also the fixed telecommunication network. So from there, from the control center, like the operator is running the signaling system, operate the signaling system and run the train. So the operators actually communicate with train using the digital train radio systems, which is the next discipline, and it's a discipline of telecommunication. So all our telco brothers can associate their work with this specific industry or specific discipline, I would say. And finally, we have got the substations for power supplies, distribution, and overhead wiring. So whoever worked in those area can relate their work in this specific discipline. So moving on, this slide is to discuss about importance of diversify and adopt. So it's a very important point that there are so many limited pure engineering role in railway. So most of the products are designed and manufactured overseas. So like pure mechanical engineer's role is very limited in railway industry. But most of the role we have in railway industry is more about project specific multidisciplinary role. So for example, we have like project engineers who solve the relevant issues on a project. We have the interface manager who actually deals with engineering issues in different boundaries of project. We have the requirements engineer who manage the requirements and verify and validate those requirements. We have the safety engineer who ensure and assure safety We have test engineers who go to the field, like test and commission those equipment. And also, we have the like basic tasks like project coordination and something like that. So the important point to note that no one is actually doing rocket science. It's rocket science. No one actually reinventing the wheel. So it's not that difficult. It sounds difficult, but it's quite easy. So you can actually apply for any of these roles. So rather than when you're looking for a role in rail industry, don't look for mechanical engineer. Try to look for project engineer or requirements engineer, something like that. And everything is designed to the standards. So standards is available there. No one is trying to reinvent the wheel. Like 95% of product which we implement in Australia is actually proven in somewhere else in this world. So they are proven, they're safe. So you can look at the standard and learn something. And you can think that, like, I understand this, so I will be able to do it. So think about transferring your skills. So if you worked in a substation previously, then definitely you can transfer your skills here in railway industry. If you work in a civil industry previously in a commercial building design, you can work in railway stations. So that's how you need to think, and also you need to be open to diversify and adapt to the rail environment. So moving on, Jitu Bhai actually explained the basics and generic requirements of CV writing, resume writing. So which is all of those are very important and applicable when you're writing a resume for railway. But also you need to convince the HR person or the employer that you actually know something about it. So if you just say that, oh, I don't know anything, please hire me, that's not gonna work. No one will hire you then. So what you have to do is like go through some basics and so once you go to the interview, talk with them, you can say that okay, I know this stuff, I never done it, but these are easy, I can do it. So that's how you will appear very confident. So some of the key concepts to work in railway industry, I'll go through it. And so I'll just give an overview now, but anyone can go and search in some website. I'll give the website as well to research about it. So we have systems engineering V life cycle, which is very important. So it looks like from a visual point of view, it looks like a V. That's why it's called V life cycle. So it is a life cycle all rail project follows. It describes why a new project is needed. Following this life cycle, you'll see when to do the design, when to finalize the design, when to install it, when to manufacture it, when to conduct test and commissioning. So this is very important. And if you know about it, like if someone is hiring you who knows straight away that, okay, this guy know a little bit at least, although he haven't done it, but he knows it. Then we have requirements, verification and validation. So which is a concept of making sure how we have been progressing according to the needs. And we have built something which is which will fulfill the purpose. So this is also important. Then we have the configuration management and the approval process. So this is all about how the railway configuration are maintained and projects are approved step by step. Then definitely some basic project management skills is required to work in rail industry. For example, cost benefit analysis, cost estimation, project timeline or scheduling, like it's better to know them. And also the stakeholder management. So usually the rail projects are implemented in a multidisciplinary environment, and there are so many parties involved. So you should know the basics of stakeholder management. So I've got a box here where I've said where you can actually research on it. So you can go to ASA website for New South Wales. So it's Asset Standard Authority. So you can go and look at those, search for these topics, you'll find it, and easy to go through. Like, although probably it wouldn't make sense at the first go, but at least it's better than nothing. And you can check the InCourse website, which is very specific to systems engineering. So if you are trying to understand systems engineering requirements, verification, validation, configuration management, look at that website, and it will give you an overview. So I think that's quite enough to understand the basics of railway. It's a very huge industry, but understanding the basic stuff is definitely important. So now I will move on to provide some information about where to look for job, which organizations is working. So in public sector, we have 3 organizations in Sydney, in New South Wales. Sorry, it's going to be 4, but I'll mention about it. But they work in railway. So we have Transport for New South Wales, which is the government agency, and they have so many projects going on at this moment. So we have got Parramatta Light Rail, which is happening. We have got Digital Systems Program, which is signaling system upgrade. We have got Sydney Growth Train, which is, new trains are coming, new intercity fleets are coming, new stations are developed as a part of Transport Access Program, and so many others. It's just difficult to list every one of them, but Transport for New South Wales is mother of all railway organization. Then we have got an agency under Transport for New South Wales, which is Sydney Metro. So Sydney Metro is massive, everyone knows about it. They are up and running in Northwest. That project is finished, but now they are introducing more metros at this moment. So City and Southwest is also one of the biggest metro implementation happening. It's under design and construction. It's going through design and construction at this moment. So there are so many jobs available. Then we have a couple of other metros which is in early stage. So they're trying to understand what's the need of those metros. Once it's done, if these get approved, which will be eventually, I think so. So there will be so many new jobs for those Metro West or Metro Greater West. And then we have got Sydney Trains and also New South Wales Train Links. So they are the operator, they run trains, and also they maintain their telecommunication network, signaling network, fleets, and other things. So if you want to apply for one of these organization, you need to look at iworkfornewsouthwales.gov.au. So it's a government agency website. All the government jobs are listed there. So just go and look, give it a go, type the name of the role you are looking for, as mentioned in the previous slide, and look if it's something available and you can apply for it or not. Then we have the private sector. So private sectors definitely have more jobs than public sector in railway. So several local and multinational giants are working collaboratively with the public sector to deliver the railway projects. So here's a list of private organizations based on their service. So you can research in LinkedIn and look at their page, what is available, is there any job or not. And then also you can look at SIG.com. So for a couple of these organizations, I'll go through it one by one. So if you look, if you're looking for a civil and architectural design giant, you can look for ACOM, Orcon, Arcadis, GHD, and so many others, but they are the key player at this moment in New South Wales. So if you are looking for a construction company, you can look for John Holland. You can go look for Langerock, CPB, and Downer. So they're key players in the industry for construction. They have so many projects going on. They actually need people. And then if you're looking for a rail systems design, for example, if you're a software based, or if you know about substation overhead wiring or other telecommunication, those falls under rail systems. So you can look for UGL, WSP, Siemens is big, Thales is big as well. And for rolling stock, so if you are mechanical and you want to get involved with a mechanical project, you can look for Downer. They actually design and develop Sydney train. You can look for Alstom. So they develop trains for metro. And that's pretty much it. So I'd like to finish the presentation here. Thanks for listening. And hopefully this will be helpful. So I've got my email address written here. So if anyone want to ask any question, you can do it now or send me an email. I'll be happy to answer. So back to Shabu Bhai. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saifi, for a very nice presentation. I think he has covered a lot of information in the railway sector. Still, we have another portion for the railway sector. But before moving forward, we would like to take question for the Saifi. Please, if anyone wants to ask anything to Saifi, please go ahead.
Many thanks, Engineer Saifi Hassan, for sharing your views and experience about understanding, say, railway and what are the disciplines involved within railway, especially New South Wales railway public and private sector. I hope everybody loved the presentation, very specifically the way Saifi presented the multidisciplinary railway sector. I never thought railway has cybersecurity. So I'm a, say, IT person, I'm working in the, say, cybersecurity area. I always thought, say, in the civil sector, security means like construction related security. But what Saifi presented now, I see I'm wrong. So in the civil part, they have also, say, cybersecurity discipline. So, so I think we all love the presentation. As I said, it is what multidisciplinary, say, part involved with under the big umbrella of civil engineering. So Saifi covered everything. Thanks, Saifi, again. Any question from audience?
I'd like to add something.
Yep.
The participants are like, if you can't think of any questions at this moment, and later on you think of something, I suggest you write it down, and you can ask the questions like after the presentations, or even like after all the presentations are done, you can ask the questions then. Or you can contact us and we'll forward your questions to the relevant presenters. So feel free to ask. And like, if you can't think of any, just write it down if you, have something in mind. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Sharif. What actually Sharif mentioned, yeah. So audience can say send us question through say Shabu or any other way, or say after all the presentation, we have a panel discussion session. I think we can discuss also there. Okay, I can hand over to Shabu.
Thanks, Dr. Kayes. Thanks, Sharif. I think they're absolutely right. We have different platforms to take the question. Even if our session is over, you can ask the question in different ways in our different platform. So at this stage, I would like to request Mr. Engineer Iftikhar Hussain Riaz to cover the rest of the part of the railway sector. Please welcome Engineer Iftikhar Hussain Riaz.
Thanks, Shaway. Can you hear me all?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thanks for joining in. On behalf of CUETians Australia, I would like to welcome you all this session. Let me share my screen. So can you please confirm that it pops up the screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, it's popped up.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, we can see you.
So before moving the presentation, I would like to share my few experience since I moved here in Australia as a skilled migrant back in October 2016, it's going to be the 4 years this month. So yeah, it's a bit exciting. So me graduated from CUET, from GD to Civil back in 2007. And after graduations, I gained experience in residential and commercial construction at Bangladesh and the Middle East. And then, so it was a bit different experience in Bangladesh and the Middle East. So when I moved here in October 2016 as a skilled migrant, but it was a really good opportunity to move here as a skilled migrant. And I started job searching, say November 2016, because it was near to the Christmas. So the market was not what I was thinking at that time. Anyway, but I get used to apply for 20, 30 jobs in a day. And after 1 week later, I realized that I have been applied more than 300 jobs, but I didn't receive a single call from anywhere. So what was going on? So I tried to reach my network from our senior fellow, those who are in here. And I realized that I had to do something with my CV when I was applying for any job that it stand out. So then I focused on the CV. So I think after 1 week later, I tried and I formatted a CV style, and then I started again apply with the CV. So I believe after 1 week later, I received 2 phone calls for the interview. So the reason why I mentioned here, CV is the most vital issue here to get a job here in Australian market. And at the same time, I want to mention here one thing, cold calling. Australians have a huge hidden job markets. So according to the statistics from the HR, near about 40 to 50% job that doesn't advertise. They would like to hire the applicant through the network or the referral. And I would like to mention here, my first job I got here is from the cold calling. I just dropped my CV a couple of small companies near to my place. And from there, I received 2 calls. And the first jobs I started in January 2017. That's not from any advertisement, that's from the genuinely from the cold calling. So the reason I would like to mention this one, yeah, it's a great opportunity to job search within the network and also within the cold calling. So now I will move to my presentation. So I will share a few slides, opportunities for the civil, electrical, and mechanical engineers in transportation sectors, specifically in rail in Australia. I have been working as a design engineer with the Metro Trains Melbourne, and currently I'm acting as a Vice President 1 for Melbourne, CUETian Executive Committee 2020-2022. Before starting the presentation, I would like to acknowledge of our traditional owners. We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognize their continuing connection to land, waters, and culture. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So this is the agenda that I will cover to these presentations. So why rail industry is promising and have a good career progressions? So we can see that all the states here, New South Wales, Melbourne, Queensland, Perth, they have got big infrastructure rail project and is a certain percentage of GDP that contributing to the Australian economy and creating huge jobs. So that's how we can tell exactly is a huge contributor to the Australian economy and the job sectors. So by the way, the top one is our new train that will be coming soon in our fleet from early next year. That's we call the HC Anti-Track HCMT train, high capacity metro train. That's built, the rolling stock all are made here in Melbourne by the donor and the bombardier. Let's have a look to the current rail infrastructure projects in the Melbourne. Level crossing rail project, which is currently going on, that will finish 2022. There's a near about the $15 billion projects. The second one is the Melbourne Metro Tunnel projects, which is currently going on and will open for the revenue services 2025. That's also the $11 billion projects. The next one will start Melbourne Airport railing. At the moment, we are waiting for the Prime Minister to announce it due to the COVID situation in the Melbourne. Is a bit paused at the moment. So we are thinking early end of next month or early December, the Prime Minister and our State Premier will announce the date when we will start the airport railing. So it will also be a huge project for us. It will be cost near about 8 to 9 billion. And there are a few other couple of projects that relate with the rail industry, regional rail revival, fast rail to Geelong. Geelong is one of the second largest city in the Melbourne. And the other one is the suburb rail loop. That will be also a huge project that will be run for near about 20 years. So I can say that for the next 10 years, rail sector in Melbourne will thrive with emerging opportunities with the current infrastructure projects. So it's a great opportunity for all discipline to jump into the rail industry. Let's have a look to the career in the rail sector in Victoria. Metro Trains Melbourne, which is the RTO currently, known as a metro. And the second one is the V-Line, is the regional, they operate the train on the regional city. And the Suburb Rail Loop Authority, that's the new authority for the Suburb Rail Loop. And the next one is the Melbourne Airport Railing. The other one is the Rail Project Victoria, we call it the RPB. There's the ERA tram for the light rail and the VTRAC. So I would like to request you all, please head to the website to get the details. And then let's have a look to the New South Wales and Queensland. Safi already covered the Sydney Metro and Sydney trains. So head to this website to get the more job info. And in the Queensland Rail and another big project is running on, it's called the Cross River Rail. And I think that would be useful if anyone want to get the latest job alerts, to create the job alerts from the LinkedIn page. So just head to the LinkedIn page and just create job alert for the specific organizations, and you will get the latest job alert. Sometimes it happens that we might be missed the job alert that match with my profile, but as we don't get the job alert, so we might be missed the opportunity. So it probably worth if you guys create a job alert from the LinkedIn. Let's have a look to the career prospect in the rail sector for the engineers. So these are the few roles based on the civil, mechanical, and the electrical. Say in Metro, the most of them started from the civil engineering cadet. It's a good opportunity for the students who are the third and fourth year, who completed at least 50% of the tertiary qualifications. Then after graduation, every year, Metro records near about 15 to 20 graduate engineer. Then track civil engineer. So it's a bit of specialization within the track that need few competency we call RAW, track and civil competency. Anyone can apply as estimator, cost engineer, structural engineer, civil drafter, project engineer in every discipline, project manager in every discipline, and coordinator in every discipline. And system engineer, that covered most by SciFi. And anyone from the construction background, that also a good opportunity as a contract administrator. And that's the specific one for the signaling design engineer. It normally required the previous experience with the signaling design. And OCMS design engineer, any electrical and mechanical engineer can apply. That's rolling stock engineer, electrical and mechanical discipline can apply. Overhead electrical design engineer, anyone from electrical background can apply. So I would like to focus some software skills that right now we are using might be required as a civil engineer. That not only for the rail industry, that is specific for the different industry as well. That's the common questions that we normally face, that why should we hire you? Why you are the best fit for this role? That might be asked during the interview phase or in the when you apply through the online process. But this is the example from my experience that I put during when I applied in the metro. I would like to say just go through the job role that advertise on the website, on the LinkedIn page, and pick up some keyword and pick up some values that the organization normally promoting and that need to be mentioned during this phase. So it's really, really key issue here. And how can we getting a job in the rail sector? So sometimes in most of the cases, they ask for the previous rail industry. But the other thing I want to mention here, transferable skills from other industry. As I mentioned here, I didn't have any experience before joined the metro. I got few experience in construction sector. Then when I moved here in Melbourne, I started my career with the drainage design, stormwater drainage, road, sewer, water design. That's going to be different from the rail. But when I applied to the metro, the job role was for the civil design engineer, and I saw that 60 to 70% match with my criteria. Then I tried to use my skills. How can I transfer there? And I just put it on my CV. And also good demonstration of the health, safety, and environment, and implementation of safety in design. And the other thing is, it is important to customize your CV for each job and be concise. Don't apply with the one CV for many roles. That have to be specific and be concise. Let's have a look to the few requirements from the current requirements for Metro Trains Melbourne. It says must have or eligible for the professional membership of Institute of Engineers Australia, and current CV outlining professional experience, and that need to be matched with the key criteria with the job advertisement. So that's the other thing, that if you want to apply any role in the rail industry, first we have to go through the job advertisement and just mark the keywords. That keywords should match with the CV. I will come later why that one is most important. And the cover letter outlining the key factors within one page, not more than one page. And as I mentioned before, why you are perfect for this role need to just put on the cover letter. How can you contribute to the organizations? And CV should be within 2 or maximum 3 pages. Preferably is the Word format, but sometimes they ask for PDF format based on the job advertisement. And sound understanding of the Australian, New Zealand standards and relevant rail industry standards. And definitely a strong work ethic, high performing professional who are talented, inclusive, and the safety focused. And definitely a good LinkedIn profile, because when anyone apply with the Metro job career site, they need to include the LinkedIn profile URL. And the other thing is how to get your resume past the ATS. That means the automatic tracking system. Nowadays, Metro and some other organization using the ATS system to pick up the CV. Say on the last month, I asked one of our talent acquisition team that for this role, how many CV have you guys received? So sometimes it's happened for just one role, they have received 200, 250 CV. So it's really difficult for them to go through all the CV one by one. So what they do normally, that's why they collect it in the Word format and they put it in the ATS system, that tracking system. And that system try to match the keyword from the job advertisement for the specific role. And then from ATS, they will pick up the 10% of the CV. Then the talent acquisition team will go through the CV for 15 or 20 seconds, and they will then select which applicant can further contact and for the initial interview. So it's really vital to pass the ATS. That's why every CV need to be concise, and the keyword from the job advertisement should be added in the CV and the cover letter. And please don't include any photos on the CV. So what needs to be included in the applications? Good CV, cover letter, and connectivity at LinkedIn with the employer and the relevant manager to know the profiles, and transferability skill checklist. So I would like to mention here some skills here. This you can go through it. And also need to be mentioned the achievement. The achievement can be qualitative and quantitative. I just had a few examples here, so you guys can go through it later. And definitely some action verbs that push the CV and need to be included. So I think it might be helpful for everyone to add some action verbs from the list. There's also the few examples of strong action verbs that depends on the which role you applied before or which you can add that. And nowadays Metro are not asking for any selection criteria. That's a good sign. But if any organization asks for the selection criteria, I would say need to go with the STAR technique, situation, task, action, and the results. And it's a bit different between the selection criteria and the cover letter. Selection criteria would be more than 2 pages, something more, within few words, 300, 400 words, but cover letter should be in 1 pages. There's the interview process at the MTM. There's a general process. This is the few interview questions. I believe Jitubai has covered some of them. So we'll distribute the slide. You guys can have a look later. And these are the things that professional training or courses that related to the rail industry. So if anyone interested, head to this website and take some opportunity to gain some professional training or courses. And these are some overview of the Australian largest consulting and contracting companies involved with the rail sector. That's it. Thanks to all. Any questions? I'm happy to take that on. Thank you.
Thank you, Iftikhar Riaz. I would like to let everyone know we need to jump to the next presentation because of some time commitment for our next presenter. Still, we will take the question. If you have a question, just put typing on it or get prepared. Just after the next presentation, we will take the question during our open discussion session. So at this stage, I would like to invite Mr. Dr. Mahbub Iman to cover the job aspects in the government telecom sector. Please welcome Dr. Mahbub Iman.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for that. It's like actually I'm presenting on behalf of Rahul Bhai, and due to some like a time constraint that like probably it will be a short presentation. And this presentation was created by Rahul Bhai, and like I'm just like presenting on behalf of him. So probably it will be a short presentation anyway. Now let me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We are waiting for your screen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to share the screen. So share, hopefully you can see that one.
Yep.
Is it the presentation screen popping up?
Yeah, it is coming up.
Oh, okay. So here we'll be talking about the telecommunication sector, which is mostly covering with the IT things. So most of the time with our previous presenter already mentioned that about that how to create a write your CV and then how to express yourself, selection criteria, these kinds of things. Here from the public sector's point of view, the very important part is the capability framework. So in this agenda, I'll be covering the capability framework and how to express your capability in the resume. A little bit of selection criteria. So probably I think it's mentioned there with the example. So if you go through that example, that would be even better. Like for the selection criteria is as it is pretty much diverse. So it's better go for even more example, or if you have any questions or contact with the presenters or any expert person later. And after that, I will be presenting the common mistakes when what will happening in the job during the job application and how to read the selection criteria, then how you can make it. So this is the one. For this capability expression, there's 4 kinds of 16 core capability attributes were divided in the 4 sections. First one is the personal attributes, which is display resilience and the courage, act with integrity, manage self, and the value diversity. The display of resilience and the courage is trying to be honest and prepared that what you know and what you don't know. Don't try to fake it that you don't know something just to getting the job, and you are trying to saying that I know all those things, but you actually don't know those things. So which is very important, because the next step when someone going to ask any technical question, so we get caught with that, especially with this in the telecom sector or in the IT sector. If you know if you don't know about the certain technology, and if you say that I know the technology, as you go through some of the basic videos and you are saying that okay, I know those things, then when someone will be coming up as the next part deployment of that technology, or troubleshooting of that technology, and you'll get caught with that thing. Next part is actually the act with integrity. That is actually ethical and professional, which is actually more or less a bit it's similar to the previous one. Third one is the managing self, which is a show drive and the motivation and willing to learn the things, because the technology things is ever changing. After every 3 years, you'll get a completely new technology, which is completely different than before. So so there will be new technology every time. So it's better to show that you are really enthusiastic to learn the new things. The value diversity, and the fourth one is the value diversity and the inclusion. That means you value the things with a big you have the capability to work with a big team, and you know how to respect other views and other views and other opinion at the same time. The next one is the relationship, as it's very important for a big organization to look at those things, because you will be working as a part of the team, and while if you are easy to cope up with the team, so it's very much easier to hire you, because the other things, as there will be a lots of engineers will be applying for that. So what these are the things will make you different from the other engineers, that you can easily cope up with this team and ready to work. And because the other laggings, it can be trained well. So next one is the communicate as a relationship. Relationship is the most important things here. It's working with any team, and even in the previous presenter, as they mentioned, there's a networking. So it's another form of networking is the relationship. As you go with the relationship, it's a formal relationship. It can be informal relationship, any kinds of relationship. You have to continue with that one. So for the very basic things of the relationship is that communicate effectively. So communicate effectively and clearly is very, very important here. So what we face here in Australia, well, especially for the for the freshers, they're not that much clear. Clear not in sense means like when they ask something like I just need a job, so that's all. But what's your skill, what's your what are your expectation, and like all these kinds of things. If you just like communicate with the other person, then it will be easier for like the person who actually sometimes have the news, and he will be keeping in mind, and with that with that skill matching, probably he may contact you. Oh, I've got that news, or if you got you need that one or not. And in terms of like when you are interviewing, or you are when you are something submitting your CV, and if you just write the things in a clear and easy language, that who you are and what you are capable of. So yeah, that's out of the CV, that express yourself with a simple language, but it's pretty much standard writing, not like exaggerating or not like skipping some of your skills. So that's a bit of art. So next one is like a commit to customer service. As every team and every government sector have their customer to or their client to serve. So this is also very important. Is also part of this communication things. Work collaboratively, which is actually I mentioned before, as a part of the team, you should have the capability of working collaboratively, which is actually accepting others' opinion, other views. As actually the major quality of this listening, the good listening skill is actually very important things. Listen first, then try to impose your opinion while you are on the interview as well. And last one is influence and the negotiate. That was, we know that how to create influence. Influence means like you are influencing your hirer to be convinced that you are the best person for their team, and you are hired actually. The last one is third one. Third one is the results. That like in this section is actually in your documents, you will show that you have the capability to deliver the things. It can be deliver deliver the project. It can be the delivering the skills. It can be delivering the some sort of service. So these kinds of things you have to show there. So the first one is like delivering results, plan and prioritize, think and solve problems, and demonstrate the accountability, which actually in combine, which is actually capability to show that you can plan well, you can execute well, and you already did the better results before, and you are ready for your future pathway and go forward, go upward. The next one is the business enables. So all these things actually doing business. So business means everything depends on some sort of clients delivering something. So when they know that like when you are working with them, it's actually good for their team, good for their business, it's definitely they will be taking. So I'm not experienced on that part. So probably the presentation will be the better to go through on. And probably if you have any question on that section, I think Rahul Bhai will be the best person to explain that things. The next one is the people management. So people management is the different things. So at the very beginning, something in my previous slide, we mentioned that about the relationship and the relationship and how you express yourself. So it's all the things are actually coming up as a people management, how you manage your questionnaire, how you manage the person you are talking to. So this means like a manage and develop a people relationship and get your purpose, what's your goal, what's your priority, just to like make it better communicate with the other people to get your goal. And the last one is the manage, reform, and the change. So if you need any support, like if someone needs any support, and also like you should be like very supportive, and like for or getting the support, you should be honest to get the support. So it's a big collaboration kinds of things. And these are the things that are how these attributes in different sector, there will be like looking at that which attributes you have, which kind of percentage. It's like a communication, relationship, results, or the managing. So if you have the foundational or intermediate or the advanced advanced or the highly advanced. So once you write your CV, that like if you can keep your mind that what kind of attributes you are going to like present on your CV, so probably based on that one, there will be like what's called classify that what kind of like transferable skill you are taking with you from your previous previous organization or from your previous knowledge. So yeah, they will classify on that. So these are the what's called the tables. Then how it can be like mentioned, it can be classified. So there it can be like acting with the integrity, or just like communicating with the customer service, delivering results. These are the things that like how you are going to present yourself. And then when you put your CV to for the assessment, and they will actually like classifying those things. So if you go through these things, it will be very much clear to you that how it's going to be going on. And in terms of like a technology, IT, and the telecom things, you'll always have to deal with the clients and the customer. So it's very important for the communication and delivering the results and managing the people relationship and the communication skills is very important there. And the selection criteria, there are the like two examples of the selection criteria. If you just go through the slides, that will be better. That would be great. It's just example. So there will be hundreds and like thousands of examples like that. And what Riyaj mentioned before, for the selection criteria, if you follow the star rules, that would be great to like how you will organize your answer to the specific selection criteria, because like every selection criteria have their own way to answer. So if you every time for answering every question, if you just go through that star format, it will be easier for you to show your like a skill there, that how you manage that case, what was your like contribution, and what was the achievement of that selection criteria. It will be easier for the one. And the last one is very important. It's very common mistakes in job application. When we are going for one, we are like very much like in need of a job, and we try to apply as much as, but like at the same time, we actually don't focus that in any silly mistake or any small mistake what we are doing. As mentioned, Riaz Bhai, is most of that like companies, when they are like gathering CVs, they are now tracking application with the automated system. So I have the chance to engage in one recruitment process in my company. What I saw in that one, they use some sort of like a AI system to like find out the keywords, the things they are looking for, the software they're looking for, is it mentioned in that CV. And also like some sort of like mistakes. Those who are very much experienced hirer, they know the where are this candidate going to make any mistakes. So they look at the very first thing, they look at that side. If it's there, then you will get caught. If it's not there, you will get for the next stage. So the thing is all the all the mistakes. These are the common mistakes. There are more mistakes as well. So my suggestion for that, read after completing your CV, pass it to another one so that they can go through your CV, and if take all the suggestion, and like don't need to implement all the suggestion you get from the others. Just when you get any suggestion, just think about it. Is it actually feasible, or is it actually matching with your CV or matching with your skill or personality or not? Because like if you like share your CV with anyone else, so everyone have their different point of views, so there will be lots of suggestion for you. So it's up to you that which one you will be taking and which one you will not be taking. At the end of the day, it's all about you, because you are the one who is a candidate. And these are very important things. As I mentioned, that writing selection criteria, you have to be specific to answering all those questions, and it's better to use the star format for that one. So that how you're going to answer the question is very important, that you need to understand the question first. So it's very from the selection criteria, when you read the selection criteria again and again, and while you're writing the selection criteria, and in terms of like interview, most of the question will be coming from that side. Like in your selection criteria, you mentioned that about any kinds of case or incident or any kinds of like a project deployment, then the question will be from that side. So what project was that? What was your challenge? Did you that one single-handedly, or you are a part of the team? If you are a part of the team, what was your contribution to that team? So this is very important on that side. So yeah, that's the thing from this side, from my side. And if you have any question, you can like share with us. And probably I'm not the best person to answer this question, as it's made by Rahul Bhai. So probably we'll pass it to Rahul Bhai, and like we can you will get all your answer you need. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Mahabub Imon. Thank you for your nice presentation, and thanks for your commitment as well, because I know that Imon is sick, but even after that, he presented a very nice presentation to us. I would like to request him to take care of his health. So before going to our next session, open discussion and networking, actually, I would like to back to share my screen. I want to recognize our special guests who are actually attending from different part of the world. So I just want to share my screen. So I believe everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Actually, we have a special guest already introduced, who was the Strategic Education Partnership Manager from the Engineering Education Australia as well as Engineers Australia. We have a HR team from the Telios, who is also our almost a permanent partner. We can say the Telios Australia actually has been contributing a lot in the ICT sector as well as the telecommunication sector. We have their HR team here in presence with us, as well as we have a lot of participants from our professional network team. Apart from this, we have a member of CUET Global Foundation here, and a lot of participants are actually attending in our session from the South Pacific Asia region, as well as the Middle East, Latin America, and some other part of the world. At this stage, before going to our open discussion and networking session, I would like to request to our President, Mr. Niyaz Sheikh, to join with me to recognize our presenter. Actually, I have been mesmerized with the presenter performance too. The way they presented the presentation, I have been very much pleased and mesmerized with them. So I would like to request Mr. Niyaz Sheikh to join with us to recognize our presenter with a certification from our organization.
Thank you, Shabu. Are you going to display the certificates?
Yeah, I'm just going to display the certificate with our So here is the certificate. I think I would like to request to.
Can you first unshare and then share the certificate, please?
For our. Is it not coming to the screen?
No, first you need to unshare. And now share, please. So let me say a few words before the presentation. Let me first acknowledge the contributions of our presenters. They have spent a lot of time in developing these presentations, and I appreciate them for their time and effort. And from us, this is a token gift and token appreciation for their time and effort. And I hope that their contributions will be even bigger and better in our future sessions. So let me first provide certificate of appreciation to our presenter, Dr. Muhammad Mahbubur Rahman. Thank you, Mahbub. Thank you for your effort. Thank you very much. Next, please. Shabu, can I go to next one? Okay, thank you. Our next certificate of appreciation is for Saifi Hassan. And thank you, Saifi, for your presentation. And I highly appreciate your time and effort to come and join us and present us your valuable experiences. The next, Sajjad Chaudhary Jitu. One thing I should say about Jitu is that he was our previous General Secretary of CUETians in Australia, and I had the privilege and had the honor to work with him. He was an efficient and very productive General Secretary of CUETians in Australia. And in this occasion, I also contribute. Apart from this, I want to contribute his contributions to CUETians in Australia for the last 4 years. Thank you, Jitu. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you for your excellent presentation in this event. Thank you. And then next is Iftikhar Hoshendias. Thank you, Iftikhar. Your presentation was quite nice, quite informative, and I fully enjoyed your presentation. And thank you for your time and effort and dedication to prepare the slides and to present to our members. And I hope that the information that we got would be quite helpful for every one of us, even our senior members also. Thank you, Iftikhar. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Niajoy.
And Rahul, not but the least, he was a very active member of our previous executive committee. Rahul has contributed a lot for our CUETians in Australia last 4 years. And today he actually prepared the presentation files, but unfortunately he was sick and he was not able to present with us and provide the presentation. And I hope that we'll listen from him in the next opportunity. And I thank Rahul for his time and effort and his dedication and his service to the CUETians in Australia. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shabu. Anyway.
Thank you, Niaj. Thanks for your time for presenting the certificate to our presenters. Now we'll go to our next session. I want to just unshare my screen as well. At this session, this is very informal. I would like to request all you, just feel free to participate in the open discussion. Anyone can raise, can answer the question. And this is the actually to build up the network. We have, I was just mentioning earlier, we have a lot of participants around the globe here. So we can share our knowledge, we can give our feedback, even we can say anything, even if you can raise a question, so we can address in different ways. So this is just informal networking and discussion session. We have Dr. Mamun here. Maybe I can start with him if he wants to share his feedback, what he's thinking. He is there also. I don't want to introduce him. Let introduce himself. He has a lot of skill and a lot of background as well. Mamun Bhai, would you please come up and say something?
Yeah, I guess so. Mamun Bhai probably has seen a chat message.
Yeah, Maun Bhai has left. Yep.
Okay, all right. I think Maun Bhai just left. So it's all right. So anyone from any other else or anywhere, you can raise your question or a discussion, anything you want to ask, please go ahead.
I would like to add something. First thing, we have got a question from Tasin Karim regarding advice on the steps of regular jobs. And I think Riyaj Bhai or Saifi, anyone can address that. And regarding the first presentation on CV writing and cover letter and like those stuff, I just have a few things to add from my part. The first thing is like in case of a resume, I believe, let's say I used to work as a team member, mechanical at BSRM in Bangladesh, right? So when I was applying for jobs here in Australia, team member is not the designation that flies here. So it's like kind of either mechanical engineer or maintenance engineer or something like that. So I think the designations should be addressed to adapt to like the Australian job market. And the other thing is based on your profile, the applicants should always create job alerts on Seek or LinkedIn. Like let's say I was working as a mechanical engineer or in maintenance, right? So like I have to look for like jobs that say maintenance coordinator or like mechanical engineer, shift supervisor or something like that. So you have to understand like, you know, what your strengths are based on what you've worked on over, you know, in your professional life. And based on those roles, you have to create job alerts and LinkedIn and Seek. So that's my 2 cents. And I'd like to ask Riyaz Bhai or Saifi to answer Tasin Apu's question, if you can, please. Thanks.
So what was the questions? How to get entry into rail sector?
Yeah, sort of like that.
Yeah, so thanks for the questions. As I mentioned in my slide that if you see any job ads, that if you think that at least 60% match with your role or with your previous role, then you have got some sort of skills. So I would say, yep, go for that and apply and try to highlight how you can transfer your skills in the rail industry. So as Saifi mentions in his presentation as well, it's not rocket science, but yeah, most of the case they prefer to the previous experience from the rail industry, but it not the necessary or compulsory. Still you can apply, and the main thing is you need to highlight the transferable skills, and the other things, go through the job role first and mark up some keywords. That keywords need to put in your CV as well as in the cover letter. Say when a HR team spend 15-20 seconds in your CV, they don't go through all about your CV. So they will first select on the basis of the keywords. Then when you get called for an interview, that's your part. Then you can play around. I hope it helps. And if you see any ads within the metro, feel free to reach out to me if you think it matches with your profile. And if you have the LinkedIn profile, I can refer you to the HR team as well, because we have a referral policy here. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Riyaz Bhai. We have had one more question from Mohammad Abdul Kader Bhai. It says, for PhD graduates, should we add or mention the PhD qualification in our resume for any sort of job if someone would like to address that? Thanks.
It might be different opinions from others, but I want to say something regarding this. I would like to say, just mention tertiary qualification in electrical engineering, tertiary qualification in mechanical engineering, RMIT, UNSW, UTS, blah, blah, something like that. If you hide the PhD, say it depends on the recruiter, how they are treated the PhD applicant. Sometimes they can say that, yeah, they're overqualified, or sometimes they said it's not aligned with the job profile, something like that, but it depends on. But I would recommend to, if they want to hide the PhD, just mention the tertiary qualification in electrical, mechanical, or manufacturing, something like that, engineering. But yeah, it's according to my opinion. It depends on here.
Thanks, Yasbhai. My personal experience is like we were recruiting a mechatronics engineer, right? And we had a few applications who were like, applicants who were PhD holders. And our HR's approach was that like, they did PhD, like overqualified and blah, blah, blah. So it depends. It depends from organization to organization. Like some people understand that qualification, a person with that qualification can add more to the organization. And some people are just like, casually looking for people that will just do the job and not highly ambitious. Sometimes that depends. And one more question I've got here from Mohammed Munirul Haq. He has asked, could anyone tell me about IT field job situation? If someone from IT could answer that, please. Thanks.
I think I could say a little bit. Thanks, Sharif. First, related to PhD graduate, I could say in IT field, I think it's good to mention if someone has a highest qualification. So as we see mostly our IT jobs, say, not necessarily it is say, in the programming or other sector, in the say, R&D and higher education sector, definitely we need a PhD. But even in programming and other sector, other than mentioning say during PhD what we did, say research, better we could mention say like what are the project we did. Say in the always we see the okay PhD thesis at least 3 research problem we always solve. So we could say that okay 3 big project we finished during PhD and what was our journey. Say we can present differently our degree. So I could say in the IT field, always it is good to show our highest qualification. Yeah. And related to say IT job in Australia, I think Monir from Qatar, he joined. Thanks Monir for joining here. He's my friend from 99 CSC.
Welcome guys.
Yeah, thank you. Say in Australia, I could say it is, say IT sector is quite good. But you know that currently COVID-19 it's brutally affected here, especially in say higher education and also say lots of other areas. Yeah, so I can't say now, but yeah, if you see okay programming, say system engineer and then other specialized area like say networking area, CCNA and other area, you always find a job here. Yeah, but again, I'm working in the university as an academic, so I don't have that much information. I usually don't check, say, other field like say programming or other job. I can give you the information.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, if you need, yeah.
Thanks, guys. Bye. Thanks, Monir bhai as well. So it's a nice question. I think we will cover a session for the IT because so far I know we have a lot of IT expert here in Australia. So they have been doing very well and a lot of opportunity in the IT sectors. So maybe we'll cover a topic in our next career session. So please keep in touch, keep with us, and we'll cover a session for the IT because IT is a very big sector. I know a lot of opportunities in the telco as well as the ICT networking, even the data center, a lot of jobs in the IT sector.
If I may, Muttaki Hassan has
Thanks,
asked about power plant related jobs in Australia, engine based or turbine based, which has good scope in Australia. I would like to say to Muttaki, he's from 2011 batch, Tripoli. Our senior, Saurav Bhai, he has, excuse me, shared his details, email, and like, you can contact him on Facebook as well. He will, he can advise on power plant jobs. And if anyone from here in our panel today can answer his question, thanks.
I think, Fahad, in addition to this, we have the Abdullah Al Mamun here. He is doing the power sector jobs. He has been doing power sector job for a while in Australia. He has been in the same background back in Bangladesh. So if Abdullah, if you don't mind, can you just come forward to give a quick brief?
First of all, I like to apologize because a power plant is not really my background of profession. I'm actually working on to the secondary design side, so I won't be able to share that much about the power plant industry. However, if someone is interested to know about the secondary design sector, like protection design and secondary detail design, I can help with this, even with the SCADA designs, but unfortunately not about transmission line or power plant itself. So it's a big apology from me. I'm sorry for that. I couldn't contribute that much on this occasion.
It's all right, Abdullah. I think that yes, Sarwarba is the right person. Is in the power sector job. Even we have a plan in our career session. We'll cover a topic which will cover all other electrical sector, especially the telecom as well as the power sector, facility management. We'll cover everything on that sector. So I think we'll be able to provide more information regarding the power sector job in our next career session. So thanks for the question.
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Regarding the first presentation Jitubai did, first I'll address what Riyajbai said, referral thing. So whenever we are applying for jobs, what happens is in the application portal, when it says like, do you know someone in the organization, blah, 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 is someone referring you? And if I don't know anyone in that organization, I personally feel disheartened and lose my intention of applying, because I think that if someone has a referral, then there's no hope, I guess. So if you could elaborate on that a little bit. And the other two things regarding G2Y's presentation, transferable skills. Saifi said that, and Riyajbhai also said that, like, if we have skills and if they're transferable, we can apply for railway sector jobs and stuff. And the problem what the applicants face when applying for jobs is like, do my skills match, or like, can they be presented as a transferable skill or not? Because let's say I have a mechanical engineering degree, but like, can I go into something else like supply chain or rolling stock or something like that? So I think based on what sectors our senior brothers are in, like railway sector or telco, like they have to come forward. And whenever we are applying for jobs, we have to reach out to you guys to ask, like, if my profile matches, what do you think? What can I say to show my skill as a transferable one? So that's the referral thing, and the understanding if my skills match kind of thing. So I'd suggest, if anyone is applying for a job, and if you think that we have a platform on Facebook, so you should reach out to your senior brothers or sisters, to ask for suggestions on how to proceed with the application. And yeah, that's my 2 cents. And yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Sharif. I am totally agree with Sharif, because it's really important to get a referral. And I think most of the company have their internal referral process. Even our company have the internal referral process. I can actually refer anyone who I know or in my network. So I think if everyone helps with this issue, then we can help each other and people can get job easily. We are actually running out of time. Still, we encourage, especially who are in the job seeker mode, just come forward and ask anything, whatever you want to like or whatever you want to know. Please come forward. Anyone, whoever is job seeking right now. We have a HR team. We have a subject matter expert, different area sector experts. So if you come with a question, you will get answer. or even whoever actually missing some part of the presentation, we would like to let you know it will be all available in our website. It will be available in the recording of the presentation session will be available in our YouTube channel and in our Facebook group as well. So still we are open to take question or any discussion, anything, please come back.
I have one quick questions. What do you guys reckon that what will be the post-COVID job market situations in terms of the Melbourne and the Sydney? Say in the Melbourne, we are a bit stuck right now due to the COVID lockdown. So lots of recruitment are not happening. Yeah, so is anyone can give a thought so we can share what the situation in the New South Wales or Queensland? What do you guys reckon? What would be the situation post-COVID, say from January 2021?
Yeah, this Saiful, can I add something?
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Saiful, right.
I think it's very generic one. It's just my thought. Just concentrate on what government is heading, because they are where they are investing. They have very specific 6 sector, I think, for manufacturing, and where they're spending defense, infrastructure, IT security. So I think that's the main focus for next 10 years. We should focus on where all the job will come from, where government is spending money, and they are very selective this time. So I think at this point, we should start thinking for next 5 to 10 years, what will be the job market. That's one of the good forecast is have a good study on the budget, and you will have an idea where will be the job market in next 5 to 10 years. I'm just adding my views.
Thanks, Saiful Bhai. I think this is very good point, because yeah, the way the government is thinking, the way we should follow. That way we can actually reach out the actual job market at what is coming next. And as well as I want to add that most of the operation sector job are still active, and there is still recruiting, and there is still need a lot of people. So I think whoever thinking to jump on so operation related job is always stable, and you can get a job, and you can also jump into this. Especially I would like to mention the HVAC or electrical design, as well as facility management, very unique field, and you can come this field and you can stay as long as you want. And this is very common and unique field in globally. Anyone else actually want to add anything or any question?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Shabu, I could add, say, in the IT field, for example, what we always see the say priority area. Say, for example, in the under IT, cybersecurity is a priority area. Why it is? Say, for example, in the last few years, you see that many Australian hospital, especially Victorian hospital, they're affected because of lots of cyber attack. And also, say, I think we know that, say, in the Westpac, also in the last year or early last year, I forgot, might be the 1 year ago. So again, because of cyber attack, that's lots of pay ID breach happen. So these are the, say, attack or something, it's affecting Australian business, Australian economy, yeah, throughout the security sector. So definitely we need so many people in the, say, cyber security area. If I could say in the IT, under IT, so that's why we see cyber and data science also interrelated. So data science and cyber security both are very important, and we need many people. And also in both area, we need, say, artificial intelligence expert. Similarly, I could say that, say, with civil areas can say that, okay, what are the people we need in the long term, yeah, not the short term. So in the, I don't have experience in the other area. I could say that mainly, say, IT field. These are the areas are very important, and Australian government are also looking forward to people expert in this area.
Yep, I can add here. For the IT field, we have, Metro has already created department. It's called Railway Cybersecurity Department. And even I didn't know it before that we have an Australian standard. It's called, I forget the number, AS, Railway Cybersecurity. And I believe there must be 2 ads at the moment in the career page, in the Metro, as well as in the V-Line one. They are looking for a solution architect that's mostly related with the IT field. So previously, I think Monir Bhai raised the questions regarding the IT field. So yeah, it's also a good prospect in the rail industry as well.
Yep, you're right.
We've had another question from Tohid Bhai. May we please have a session on manufacturing jobs? I'd like to say in our upcoming sessions, we'll obviously address like the research sector, then migrating to Australia, civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical, like all departments. So we'll have separate sessions for all of them. So, and I believe you'll get, from the mechanical side, I think you'll get a very good session in the next month. Thanks.
Thanks, Faz Sharif. I think the Dr. Mamun is.
Yes, please. I mean,
Okay,
go ahead, please. Yeah. No, I'm Mamun bhai কথা বলতে যাচ্ছিলাম. Please go ahead. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for.
Yes, bhai. I think Dr. Mamun is actually. Yeah, just if you say a few words for us, or what do you think, what we are doing?
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity. And unfortunately, I had to go in the few last minutes because I had few unexpected guests appeared in my house. And it was a great session for sure. And in fact, I also benefited from this session because, you know, I've been applying for jobs since I arrived in Australia, and I recently got a job. I'm very thankful to Almighty that I got this one in this Corona time. But as I said, there are a lot of things to learn from this whole process of CV writing and resume and interview process. And it will be very useful for not for the younger people. As I said, it also will help me a lot in the future because I'll be planning to look for another job maybe within a year time or so. But what I learned from my recent experience is that you know that every advertisement they provide a contact number, contact number. It is very important to have a chat with him before you put in your application. That is extremely helpful because the person or the name given in the the advertisement, either he or she will be in charge of shortlisting the applications, or they might be in the interview board. So that will really help you, and we should ring up that person, contact person, ask him or ask her what are the requirements and how do I fit in this role, and what do you think about my experience, and discuss everything. And we should ask few questions. So that will help him to remember the applicants during the time of sorting of the so when they will be sorting the application, and also during the interview he might remember the applicant. Oh, this guy rang me. So that will be really helpful. That's the only feedback I can give you from my recent experience. Anyway, I wouldn't take long. It was a long session for a lot of people, but I think everybody got benefited from this. And I would like to thank CUETians in Australia, all organizers and all presenters for doing a wonderful job. And I look forward to a few more sessions like this in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohanbhai. Thanks for your time. We are really proud to be a part of the CUETians in Australia, and we are also proud such people like you guys. We are always getting encouraged for you guys. So thanks for being with us. Still, I will encourage job seeker, if you come forward any question or any issues that we are facing that we want to learn or they want to check, please come forward. Our timing is out, but still I see the discussion session is pretty interesting. Everyone actually asking questions and enjoying the session. So we are not just ending the session still. If anyone want to raise anything, please come forward.
I see.
Hi.
Oh,
sorry.
Tasin, gone. You're gone. Yep.
Sorry, Bhaiya. Should I ask something?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, I was hoping to get some light on the gray area we have between the resume and the interview. So what happens if someone gets a call? Like, what would be the interview process, and like, what are the steps, after we get the call? How should we prepare ourselves? How should we think, like, what are we expecting? You know what I mean? Like I was hoping to get some of the lights in there too, if that's okay. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Tasin, I think Jitubhai or Riaz, anyone can address this? Jitubhai.
So there is few steps mainly involved, like, when someone asks for an interview.
But can you increase your volume? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
No. Not clear. Might be.
My bad.
Yeah, it's
Might be the
better.
mic issue.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay. So there is actually a few steps involved in the interview call and when you apply for the job. So first of all, like when you apply, you might get a call from the, the first person from HR or the recruiter. They might go through few process like, why you're interested for this job. They will ask some phone interview at the beginning. And once they're okay with your phone interview, then the next step, sometimes they ask for like, there is few new processes now. They can ask for video interview. Like currently with the current COVID, there is not many face-to-face interview happening. They're going through some video interview process. And if you pass that video interview process, then you will go to the next one, which is face-to-face interview. So I'm not sure whether you're asking that the steps there or how you need to present yourself in the interview, Tasin.
It's like I'm sure after going through this career session, some of us will get benefited. Like they will get the calls, and like what will they expect? What would be their next steps, especially rails or private or anywhere? Like I know the private ones are very different to the government ones, so I would like to have some insights if that's possible. Yeah.
Can I add something, Jitubhai?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I can say something in terms of the metro. So if you short selected, then one of the team member from talent acquisition team will call you. They will email you first. Are you free on that date, on that time? If you reply yes, they will call you. They will have a quick chat with you for 10 to 15 minutes. They want to judge you the insight that are you align your skills and you have got previous experience that align with the job role. They are, in most cases, they are not the technical persons. So, yep, you can say that you need to say what they mention in the job role. So what I did previously, I get used to maintain a database in the spreadsheet, and I just put something like that. There's the metro. Role was I applied for, say, drainage engineer. What was the key criteria or key selection criteria that I need to be focused on? Then I exactly tried to mention the HR people that keywords. Yep, I get used to do the design with the 12D. I get used to do the design with the music tools. And I have a good understanding of safety in design and stakeholder management. And just give a simple example. Yep, I did on that project that I did a stakeholder management with Melbourne Water, Sydney Water, something like that. So they just want to get the insight. And if they think, yep, you are fit for the role, then they will call you for the next phase interview. That will be the main interview that will be conducted with the team manager and along with the HR team as well. So that's the current process in the metro.
May I add something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sharif.
So Apu, my experience is not that vast like the other guys, but I think what I used to do is like whenever I applied for a job, I used to put the job description and the resume that I applied with in a different separate folder, so that when we're applying for jobs, we apply for hundreds of jobs every day, and it's hard to keep track. Like the job that I'm doing now, like when they called me, I had no idea what the company was. Like I was like, okay, yeah, I remember, but I had no idea. So the first thing is you have to keep it separate, because sometimes you change something in your resume, and if you have a generic one, it's hard to answer. So after getting the call, I think the first thing should be to study the organization, what they're doing, what their products and services are, and what projects they're doing, and about the company, and values, visions, stuff like that. The second thing should be like based on the job advertisement and your resume, you have to create some stories, like let's say communication skills or stakeholder management. So, oh, I used to deal with these people, blah blah blah. We were doing a project, and I dealt with these kind of people, and you have to quantify the project, like what you achieved from the project. You have to say that as well. So like, you have to make up stories based on the job advertisement and your resume. And after that, like you have to keep your stories straight and aligned. And after that, you just have to like, know everything about the company and their values as well. And when they call call you in for an interview, you have to put in keywords on their values and the organization and say that, okay, yeah, I've seen that you're like, I like this kind of job atmosphere, and I've seen that your company has this kind of work culture and blah, 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 stuff like that. Like, so it's, if you want, you can do a vast research, like huge research, and you can put everything in like a story. And people like stories. People don't like straight answers, however correct they may be. So yeah, that's what I think. And it's about connecting with the interviewer to some level.
Yeah, perfect. Yep, that's a
Thanks.
great answer. Yeah.
Thanks, Sharif and Riaz. And also,
Excellent.
I think
I would like
you got
Thank
some
you.
idea. You
I
got
think
some
someone want to
insightful
add here.
discussion from Riaz and Sharif.
Yes, thank you, Riaz Bhai, and thank you,
And
Sharif.
I think
That was
here,
very helpful. Thanks.
Saiful Bhaiya might be want to say something.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
Very quick one. Honestly speaking, I'm a bit tricky with job finding. Since 2004, I never had a job without reference. Never ever had a job, honestly speaking. So wherever I work, home and abroad, anywhere, so it makes everything easy, very very easy if you have a reference. So if we don't have a reference, you got a call, what we should do? I think one of the tricks you can do, find where you applied, which department you applied, then find someone from LinkedIn who is working on that department, on that company, and knock his profile, study his profile, because he'll be doing the same job. Nowadays it's easy, right? You can find at least everyone on LinkedIn, and most of the profile are open. So try to find the person. Obviously you don't know that person, otherwise he will be your referee. Then try to study his profile. And other thing you can do, just if very gently knock him, try to grab some information, because if you can manage some information from that department who is doing the same job, is very very helpful, very very helpful. So it's one of the thing I think we should do. If we have a reference, that well and good. But if you don't have a reference, you try to find someone from LinkedIn who is working on that position, on that company, and study his profile, what he's doing, this sort of thing, and gently knock him, try to grab information. So that will be helpful.
Thank you, Saiful Bhai. I want to take a charge now. Actually, interesting discussion. So everyone actually participating, and a lot of question is coming as well as answer as well. We are actually running out of time as well. So we will finish within 5 minutes. So before that, actually, we take some few questions before that. And in addition to Saiful Bhai and Riaz as well as the Sharif, actually, I want to add the thing, because I am the person who got the job without any reference. So I have done a lot of research in how to actually get a job without reference. So maybe I will share the history, my history in a later session. So first thing, I think just one simple thing that Saiful Bhai that mentioned, that you need to research the LinkedIn and you need to update your LinkedIn. And the first thing, the employer, whoever select anyone, whoever actually going to call anyone, before that, he must look at your LinkedIn profile, and he will look at what you have done previously, what you have been through previously. So your LinkedIn profile must be updated and should be aligned with what you are applying. So this is pretty important, and this really applied for me and to get a job in the same level what I was doing in Bangladesh. So I think the LinkedIn profile update and do some research in the LinkedIn what you are applying, what you are focused. This is pretty important. So we have last few minutes. If anyone want to add something, I was seeing that Joynal was trying to say something. If I am not,
Yeah, I was trying to say hi everyone. I'm Joynal, 02 batch civil. I've been working as a structural engineer at AECOM. So I would like to add few notes as well with Riyaz and Sharif. So a few things about the interview. I'm trying to understand what she asked, but probably she was trying to get some kind of idea about how she can prepare for the interview or the next step. So for the interview, I agree with Riyaz on what Sharif said, but I guess one old school tricks I do, which I've been doing as well when I secured my last job. So I prepared the question bank, like tell me about yourself. So I just wrote 7 sentences about me, and I practiced that so that it becomes a second nature to you, second nature to me. You know, because we are not all native speaker, right? So as we understand that landing an interview, it's a really tough milestone. So once you go up to that point, it would be really sad to lose that opportunity without securing the job. So preparing for the interview is another you have to put a lot of effort. So one quick tips I would say that preparing those questions like tell me about yourself, your weakness, what you want to see in yourself in next 5 years, and more importantly, so all those key points from this job advertisement, you just prepare answer for all those individual selection. Like if they ask about the softwares, any particular design, you better prepare some examples or some kind of questions. We know we all have all this information in our head, but it's always better to write the questions and prepare some sample examples and practice them a bit, especially for all those generic questions. That's all. Thanks.
That's
thanks,
actually
Joynal, for your Tasim, go ahead.
sorry. Thank you, Janal. But that's actually a very good one because I feel like whenever I did the interviews, I know a lot, but when I was asked the question, I'm not organized. Like when the question is asked, I just jumble up with all the words and stuffs. So it's actually very good to prepare and practice beforehand. Um, that helps a lot. Thank you. That's all.
Can I just add one quick thing? It's just for everyone. I know that everyone is looking for technical jobs, engineering jobs, and there is a lot of other jobs available as well in like in a project management and all those things. So I'm not sure like how many people are interested for project management. And one good thing, like, you know, when you work in your current role, you always build up a team. And no matter what, how you work and how you perform with the team, if you're a good team member, if any of your senior manager or senior person, they leave the team, always try to use that as a reference, because in Australia, everyone try to work as a team, and they always pull the reference people or the, you know, the person they like from other job to work with them. So that's how I think people get promoted here, because it's a reference job and it's also a teamwork job. So try to be a good team member, team player, and try to manage your work ethic. That's how I think you can get promoted in your different role. At the same time, as I said, like, you know, there's a lot of other jobs available, transferable skills. I'm currently working in my company for more than 10 years now. I'm not working in any engineering background field, but I'm managing projects. So that's how, like, you know, I feel like, you know, maybe I could have done better in the engineering sector, but I tried to work in different sector because that's what I feel like, you know, that's what I'm working, and that's what I feel like to work, you know. So that's something like from my personal experience to share with.
Thank you, Jitubai. Thanks for your nice trip. We are really out of time. If anyone doesn't have anything else, I would like to go back to Niaz Bhai, Niaz Sheikh, our president, to close up our session. Or any last question? I think, yeah, we have been a very good session, everyone participating and contributing themselves. I would like to thank you all for your contribution, for your commitment, time, everything. I would like to go back to Dr. Niashek, President of CUETians in Australia, to close our session. Please, Dr. Niashek.
Thank you, Shabu. As you know, I have started my career as a teacher in the then BIK Chirong, and I have always been in education sector. As a teacher, I've been listening all the presentation, very good presentation. There are lots of questions, and which is very good. You know, I also got a lot of information and insight into CV writing and interview skills. But one advice that I can give to everyone is that the key to success in any case is the preparation, right? How well you prepare yourself, right? Nowadays, in this age, internet age or information age, resources are at the fingertip. Now, how should we tap the resources and how should we use the resources? These are fully dependent on us. So for CV writing, for interview skills, and how to prepare for the interview, how to present ourselves for the interview, for everything, you know, take adequate preparation and you will not get wrong. So as someone said, if you are going for an interview to a company, then let's know the company, understand their mission, understand their future plan, and prepare yourself for that interview. And I hope if you remember, you know, these hopefully jobs seeking or any other thing would be easier for you. Anyway, now it's time for us to conclude. We will have another session to discuss, or we may have some open session to discuss anything that we like. And we have quite a few, you know, academics here, especially CUETians, and then we may need to hear from them for higher studies. Anyway, that might be the job for another session. And thank you everyone. Let me first acknowledge the contributions of our presenters. As I said, they have spent a lot of time in developing their presentations, and I appreciate them for their time and effort. Arranging any program of this scale or of this kind requires significant efforts, and I thank all our members who contributed to make this program successful. Most importantly, I thank all of our guests and attendees who listened to these important presentations carefully and a long time, I should say. I hope that the presentations are useful and will be helpful for CUETians in Australia and elsewhere to prepare better for their future jobs. And we'll make all the presentation slides available, so you don't need to take I hope you didn't take notes, because we'll make all the slides available. Hopefully those would be helpful for you. Also, please do not hesitate to contact me and my team for assistance. Our addresses are available on CUETians in Australia website, which is CUETiansInAustralia.org. And thank you all. Thank you very much. And that's with that, I should conclude these presentations and this event. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for
Thanks,
answering all
everyone.
the questions. Thanks.
Thanks all.
Thank you,
See you
CUETian
later.
in Australia, and CUETian in Qatar. It was
Yeah,
really
thanks,
good.
Munir, for
Thanks for
joining.
joining.
Thank you. Bye. It was a really wonderful session. We'll join inshallah in future. If anything, just let us know in our group. We have a group also CUETian in Qatar. You can drop on a message. We'll join our whole team inshallah in future session.
Yeah, thanks, Munir. You can share, say, our slides or recording there. I think that might be useful. Definitely, we will run a series of this career session, like might be related to one IT, another one, someone saying that, okay, manufacturing,
Yeah, sure.
might be power sector and different we can run. Yeah, we have resources here in Australia. Yep.
Yeah, sure. Actually, a lot of our engineers interested to apply in Australia recently. So Mahmoud also guiding us. Actually, Mahmoud was here, you know that, long time with us. He was our president of IB Qatar chapter. So we are really interested. So many people want to join. That's why our lot of students joined today's session also. I saw that.
Okay.
Inshallah, we'll join in the future session as well. And
Yeah, thanks,
definitely
Munir.
we'll
We'll
get in
keep
touch.
Good to know.
We'll
Yep.
let you know in the next session, upcoming session. Please keep in touch.
Sure, sure.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.